Hi, this is Les Marshak. For over 40 years, you heard my voice from coast to coast. You're listening to WHPC 90.3 FM, the radio voice of Nassau Community College in Garden City, New York.
You're listening to the Motormouth.
There's something wrong with my car!
What can I say about Motormouth Radio that hasn't been said by their parole officers?
I called the wrong number, but it's nice to talk to you guys. I love your show.
I have prepared absolutely nothing, which is usually the way you prepare your show.
Motormouth!
All right, I'll contribute my nonsense.
Are there any cameras?
No.
Because the people have no idea what they're missing.
You guys have been blowing me off, and so I figured I'd just give you a call.
Motormouth!
Just about everything you guys talked about today has something to do with leakage or shrinkage. I was just driving. I said, God, I got to call these guys and ask them.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
Gentlemen, you really haven't helped me much. Everything I've asked for, you've denied me.
Why I asked the question, and thank you so much for your help.
So I listened to you guys' show on Sunday. Very good.
What did we do Sunday?
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
I don't know. Is this talk show for, ask questions about cars?
They are just as crazy in real life.
This is why I have a mechanic.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
Did he answer my car question, you jerk?
I just wanted to tell Ray that I'm having lunch in his GTO right now.
Motormouth!
Chris, and people tell me I talk a lot.
I'm your third caller, so that means that there were 2 other people out there with no life that are listening to you today, right?
Actually, you're the 4th caller.
Somebody else woke up out of drunken stupor and dialed your number.
Yeah, it was a wrong number, yeah.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Motormouth!
This is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show. And now, here are your Motormouths, Chris Switzer and Ray Guarino.
Alrighty, broadcasting in lively black and whites. This is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show. Right here on Long Island, I'm Chris Switzer. And of course, here's a man who is personally waiting. He cannot wait until midnight for his opportunity to drop his ball. And he'll tell you all about it right from behind the shop bench. And I couldn't wait to say that. It's Ray Guarino. How are you, my brother?
Congratulations, you've graduated to 3rd grade. Yeah, I can't wait for midnight so I can maybe wake up, look at something on TV, and then go back to sleep.
Oh, I get to read and color and eat the paste. I'm in 3rd grade. Anyway.
Yes, you do.
Very cool, my brother. So how was the week?
It's been ramping up. Things are getting to be whirlwind paced.
I know. We have been very busy.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we've been very busy, rocking and rolling. It's been funny. The show is almost like a sidebar. Oh, damn, I got to go stop our lives to come do the show.
Well, I think we've proved that we have both done this in our sleep a couple times already, so that's the easy part.
I'm sleeping now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to wake up.
So if you want to wake us up, 516-572-7440. When there's no guest in the room, the show is yours. Throwing it to the listener on the last day of 2015. It's all yours. 516-572-7440. We're just here to answer the phone.
I'll show you how unprepared I am. With all the other paper I've been shuffling and things I've been doing, I usually bring in my list that I keep a running tally of during the year, which are the memorable Motormouth moments of the year.
Right.
Well, they're on my flash drive, which I don't have with me, so I couldn't print them. So we'll do that on Sunday. In the new year, we'll look back at 2015. Sorry.
Very good.
And I do have some New Year's facts for you.
Okay.
And a holiday-type Christmas question that's of a song nature. I'll ask you that first.
All righty.
We'll clear that off.
We'll start off to stretch the wrinkles out of the brain here. Go ahead.
You know our good friends Elmo and Patsy, of course.
Of course.
Right? And their hit single.
I can tell you that. Is it part of the answer? Or
no.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer?
The question is, in that song, what was Grandma going to get when she got run over by the reindeer?
What was she going to get?
Yeah, if you know the song, it would be kind of easy. Sing it to yourself. You can do that. Meanwhile, I'll tell you about Times Square a little bit. Of course, the big event in the city tonight.
Yes.
People come from all over the place to go to that. And they're online now. There's a live webcam, and people are online in that corral right now.
People are insane.
They all have Motorman's friends with them, I think.
Yes, or diapers, one or the other.
One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the ball, of course, is the big topic of concern here.
It's always topic of interest.
between 1 and 1 million pounds. What do you think that ball weighs?
I'm cheating here because I think I heard this. Okay. I'm just wondering if I heard it correctly. Is it true? Is it 16 tons?
No.
Okay, good.
No, it's 11,875 pounds.
Okay, I heard 16 tons.
Hell no.
What do you get?
I don't know how they. Yeah, what do you get?
Yeah,
ready for the biz bag.
That's what I heard on the radio, and I almost did a double take. I was like, "What? Did I hear that right?"
No.
11,000 pounds, which is no lightweight in its own right.
It is 12 feet in diameter, which is big.
Mm.
It has 2,688 Waterford crystals on it, which give it that luminescent glow, and to help that glow bounce around.
Yeah, like you could see it from the roof of, of
from space.
Square. Yeah.
It also has 32,256 Philips Luxion LED bulbs on it. Now, in the past, they were incandescent bulbs that they would screw in and test. Now they're LEDs, so they're brighter and they last longer.
They look like what's in the grill of the Fiat right about now, right?
Oh, yeah, right. I don't know. I haven't been over there in a while. There could be a squirrel in the grill of the Fiat right now. It's in its garage state. So I didn't know this. There's a history behind the dropping of the ball, which I didn't know anything about.
I'm clueless. Go right ahead, please.
New Year's Eve and the celebration is related to the winter solstice.
Yeah.
And that is when, during winter, the days get shorter.
And the nights get
longer. Right. The days go from shorter to darker, and then from longer to brighter as we go out of it.
Just like the show.
And that's pretty much like the show. And that's what it's a celebration of light is what that ball dropping represents.
Oh.
It's a symbolism of the event. I wondered if the ball does get darker and lighter and lighter. I don't know. That I don't know. But one quick question. When was the last time or the only time the Times Square ball was not lit up when it dropped? There is a period of time where that happened. And there's a good reason for it.
I would have to say wartime.
Which war?
World War II.
Good. Between 1942 and 1943, the ball was not lit because we were under blackout conditions.
Right.
That's when the cars and the Jeeps had those half moon shields over the headlights.
Not even. They were little rectangles.
Sometimes if they were actually in an occupied country, they had little square.
Little blackout square. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And blackout cars are incredibly valuable, too. They're collectible. Blackout cars.
Yeah, but couldn't you just get those covers and put them on another...
Oh, but there were so many other things to denote a blackout car from 1942.
Like what?
Like the grille and the trim were painted.
Olive green.
Instead of... Yeah. The colors were muted, definitely with browns and greens, very mucus colored.
It was military cars anyway, though.
Yeah, but a lot of the civilian cars came out that way as well. And they were the trim was painted like a contrasting tone. Like if the car was painted a brown, the trim was like a tan.
Uh-huh.
And as you got closer deeper into the war, into 1942, and closer towards the end of automotive production, a lot more severity happened to those blackout cars, whereupon some of the bumpers were painted, because a lot of times the trim and a lot of the trim was painted, yet the bumpers were still chrome. But as 1942 progressed, then the bumpers became painted as well. And then as you got deeper into 1942, the bumpers were gone. They
removed.
put pieces of wood there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, to save
it's
on
like
that metal.
every 76 Chevy van I've seen.
Yeah, right.
Or F-150.
Every Chrysler New Yorker wagon I've seen.
Right.
But yeah, that's what has happened. And then, of course, production ceased in the middle of... Actually, it was probably 3 or 4 months into 1942, production ceased on civilian production of vehicles. Right. So there you go. There's your history.
Interesting moment in history.
Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah, I wanted to, on a totally different note, I wanted to talk about speeding and speed. Not the methamphetamine stuff we were doing before, not that. No, I want to talk about speeding on the road.
Okay, behind the wheel, speeding.
Something happens to me quite often on my admittedly short commute from here to home. I drive on the parkway out here, and usually in the left lane at about 65 miles an hour with cruise control engaged.
I've followed you, yes.
Yeah, and... this happens. I'm going southbound, and then there's the Southern State Parkway, which goes east-west.
Sure.
You know that because you use the exit yourself.
Right.
You'll understand this because you do exactly what I'm going to talk about. Just the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I'm in the left lane, cruising down there, and this Mercedes SUV, I see it way behind. It was a rainy day, so, people had their lights on, and this guy had the full LED array lit up. And in the left lane behind me, and I said, this car's coming up fairly fast, faster than it should be. Right. And wouldn't you know, gets right up behind me and literally glued to my bumper, tailgating me like it was supposed to be part of my bumper.
All you saw was the three-pointed star in your rearview mirror.
I think I couldn't even see that. Like, what is this knucklehead doing?
Right.
So the knucklehead, of course, tailgates me, to which I give a pleasant hand gesture in the mirror, kind of like a what? Yeah, they couldn't even see me because they probably couldn't see the mirror.
Right.
And I said, don't tell me they're going to do the same thing that other people have done with following me, but without tailgating me. And the person did. Literally, left lane now, I'd say about 1,000 feet from the Southern State. You know it.
Got right off.
Beeline, NASCAR drift, 3 lanes to the right to get off on the Southern State going east. And I said, you idiot. I hope you flip over the divider and just die in a fiery wreck in the weeds. I really do, because I'll come in and throw some gas on you freaking... It was colorful, Chris.
Wow.
It was pretty colorful. And because that was the absurdity of the whole thing. And this is, like I said, this is not the first time. Many times, enough times that it's happened to me, where people will come up behind me fast in the left lane, only to dive bomb to the right lane, and then sit in that... You know how the right lane goes?
Sure.
You're not getting off fast.
No.
What is going on in people's heads?
It's an urban tactic, if you ask me personally.
Yeah, explain it, please, because I'm at a loss.
Because I see it on the belt all the time.
Do you?
And I'll give you one exit in particular.
Okay.
It's what I like to affectionately call the shelf. It's the North Conduit. And that's what happens. You're on the belt, you're bopping along, and usually I like to get the heck away from that exit. I get right into the third lane. If I could ride in the oncoming traffic safely, I would. To stay away from that because of the stunts that happen while people are getting off. And it's always there. It's always there. They dive. I call them divers.
Dive bombers.
They just dive.
There's a military trend.
Yeah, and I still can't. It's so unsafe, so incredibly unsafe.
Well, there's the thing. You do that. You do make that exit. Imagine yourself in the left lane going 70 or 75 and then having to dive over to make that turn. Can you physically imagine that?
Can you imagine you're just getting off like you're minding your own business, and all of a sudden here comes this blue Mercedes SUV that gets right in front of you.
And when the car went around me, I got to look. It was a woman.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't even a guy. It was a woman. I'm like, oh, really? Grab her by the ponytail.
That's Ray Guarino getting ready to cool down. I'm Chris Switzer.
Just heating up.
This is Motormouth Radio on the last day of 2015. Of course, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour gang, designated drivers. That's right. You be proud tonight. If you're the one responsible with the keys, give yourself a big pat on the back because you're part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. Keep it where you got it because we got your New Year's right here, baby. This is Motormouth Radio.
The Motormouths will be right back with your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440.
Do you own a car? Or have you ever seen one? Then you might be one of the millions of Americans who suffer from "there's something wrong with my car, but mechanics cost too much itis." Call the Motormouths at 516-572-7440. Our trained staff of 2 will help. There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
WHPC 90.3, the radio voice of Nassau Community College, is looking for individuals, businesses, charities, or organizations in our local and global community that would like to donate to support our radio station. Whether you listen locally or online, here is how it works. Go to our webpage at ncc.edu/WHPC and click Donate Now. Or if you prefer, you can send a check to WHPC Radio, 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York, 11530. Make check payable to the NCC Foundation. In the memo of your check, write WHPC Donate Now. Any contributions will help defray our operating costs, and it's tax deductible. This message was brought to you by the radio voice of Nassau Community College, streaming online at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Let the Motor Mouths help you with all of your car questions at 516-572-7440.
Alrighty, we're talking about speed right here on Motor Mouth Radio. Can't wait to get this year over with.
Why, so we can do it again?
516-572-7440. We have a very exciting 2016 coming up, you and I, Ray. It's going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure.
We can only hope.
Right now, the fun is just surrounded right here. 516-572-7440. Speaking about speed, I've got to bring up something.
Okay.
I was given the honor of vacuuming out my wife's Jeep.
Lucky you.
Now, when I say given the honor...
How many goldfish did you find?
Goldfish, I found stuff. It really is a continuation of a purse.
Oh.
The vehicle, especially a woman's vehicle. It's a continuation of the purse.
I will agree with that, yeah.
And here's what I did. We have just a little backstory. My wife and I have this little thing, this little dance that we do. Because I say to her, you should clean out your car. And she says to me, you should...
Bug off!
She says, you should mind your own freaking business.
I'm with her.
And I go, granted, fine. Right. I will never suggest it again. And I haven't. And in the process...
Does the cast iron frying pan follow that?
And in the process, what happens is the car, of course, turns into a toy chest / purse. And I'm like, fine with it. I push the debris out of the way. I get in, I start it up, I drive away. So, it's the way it is.
So just for clarification, you said to her again, what?
I say, you should clean out your car.
No!
She said.
And she says...
Okay, just want to get that straight.
So here's what happens. She came up to me and said, if we're going to have two of my long-time radio colleagues to analyze it on Sunday, she says, can you do me a favor and can we clean the car out and then can you vacuum it? So I said, sure, I don't mind doing that.
Oh, because Joe looked at the car last week. Okay.
Well, my wife has got standards that she needs to uphold.
I understand.
And she knew that it was going to be probably radio fodder for the next year and a half.
All right, and that's why she made you wear made you wear underwear that day, right? Because she knew that. Okay.
Instead of that motorman's helper. But anyway, so here's what happened. So now I go. We check out the car, and we'll talk about that later. But now I bring the car back home because I figured it's kind of dirty, and it's going to take me at least $20 worth of quarters to do it at a gas station or a car wash. So I said, I'll do it at home. I'll get the shop back out, and I'll do it. You know what I've realized? When you vacuum out a vehicle, and you're home, you don't take your time.
Oh, okay.
I'm in there like a maniac.
Wow.
I'm going like a son of a gun, and I realized why.
Why?
Because whenever I vacuum out a car at a car wash, and you got a time limit, you're feeding $1.50 worth of quarters, you have 5 minutes, which I don't believe is 5 minutes.
So you say it's conditioning.
When I vacuum out a car at a car wash using a timed vacuum, I got the doors open, right? The trunk's open.
You're ready.
I'm ready. Everything is out of that car. I'm feeding the quarters. I'm holding the receptacle in my hand, feeding quarters. Get the quarters fed, and as soon as that thing lights up, I'm on a carpet. I'm running around. Junior Johnson's pit crew would be proud to see me vacuum out a car.
Do you ever run out of time?
Of course.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
okay.
totally.
All right, so that's well-founded. See, I don't ever do it at a car. I do it at home, and I always take my leisure, and I'll stop for a cup of coffee, make a phone call.
Here I am.
Watch a TV show.
I'm home. Now, I don't usually vacuum out the car at home.
Yeah.
And here I am at home with my shop vac, racing like a son of a gun. And I get 3/4 of the way through the car, and I'm saying to myself, what the hell is the race here? What am I doing?
You're like the guy on the Meadowbrook Parkway wanting to go up to Sun State. Except they don't say, what the hell am I doing here? That's stupid. And that's interesting. That's a little slice of your psyche that we, didn't need to know about. But it's interesting nonetheless.
Literally stop.
So you dealt with dust and crumbs. I dealt with sloshing.
Say, well, so nice. How apropos that you deal with sloshing on New Year's Eve.
Why don't we entertain a call, and then I'll explain to you my sloshing.
All righty, let's do it. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the fun. Say hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
That flashing light behind your head means the phone's ringing.
Yeah, and you know what? It means, ow! It's a goat man!
What's up, brother love?
Hey, man, I got for Christmas, I got Photoshop 1.0.
All right! I'm waiting for the 1.2 upgrade myself.
Is that the one still made out of wood?
Balsa wood.
Yeah, baby.
I'm looking at digital VU meters on the desk there and everything.
Wow. You can feel the heat from all those tubes.
Nice.
I love when you're a technological marvel, Den.
Hey, could I throw a plug out to somebody?
Sure. What kind of plug is it?
Summit Racing.
Summit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I got that Falcon for Dale, the 65 Falcon.
Yeah.
And I saw Summit Racing now has upholstery.
Oh, okay.
So I called them up, and I was and I said, see in the catalog you have upholstery for the Falcon. I said, but not for the 4-door sedan. So the guy actually spent the time, and he looked up, and he said, you know what? He said, you're not going to believe this. We do have it, but I have to enter 65 Falcon 4-door sedan black seat covers.
Oh.
If you don't put in black seat covers, it doesn't come up.
Wow.
So at any rate, they got me a set of seat covers for the Falcon, and it was $150 cheaper than the other place that I was going to get them from.
Okay.
And whoever did these seat covers, whatever pattern they used, these things fit like a glove.
Nice. Do you know who the manufacturer of the covers is?
Distinctive Industries.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
great.
We did these at home in the garage ourselves.
Because now you have room in the garage.
Yeah.
Well, but you also, I mean, they fit so well
Yeah.
that we're able to, what we did, we cut the old ones off with razor blades and cut the old hog rings off. But these fit on so nice with a little bit of persuasion and a heat lamp.
Nice.
They went right on.
That's great.
Wow.
That's great. Very good.
It's good to hear when aftermarket equipment fits well and looks
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Yeah, I would send an email not only to Summit but to Distinctive Industries and thank them for making a good product.
Yeah, here's the thing. Distinctive Industries, you can't contact them directly.
Oh, okay.
Because they are a supplier, and
Right.
they only deal with retail businesses. If you're a retail business, you can contact them.
Oh, wow. That's odd that you can't even get in touch
But
with
an
them.
individual cannot contact them.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I totally get that because they can't undercut the retailer.
Well, yeah, I can understand not being able to purchase from them.
Right.
But you can usually
No,
contact.
you can't even contact them.
Like if you wanted a job, you couldn't even call and say, "Hey, you got a job as a hog ring installer?" You know.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of putting like Goatman Industries. I want to tell you that the seats covers, and just see what happens. It might just go through. You know.
You got to get a picture of a goat with hog rings in their ears. Like that could be the logo.
That's right. Then do what we do all the time. Just be bigger than you really are. Lie. Just lie.
Just say it.
But that car's already, it's jammed, it's wet sanded, it's ready to go in for Hot Rod Black.
Sweet. Are you going to do any kind of a highlight or pinstripe or whatever on it?
Well,
Scallops?
we thought about, it took her a long time to decide on Hot Rod Black.
Yeah.
But after this here, I said, maybe we should go for like a turquoise pinstripe or a hot pink pinstripe or something.
Even beige looks good.
And she's thinking about it, but someone's helping me on this project, and I have to wait for the shop to be empty.
Right.
And catch them on a day when we can get it in, and
Got it.
But I thought about doing a highlight with something in there.
I say red pinstripe with red rims and baby moons.
Yeah, that's kind of like overdone, I think. It's a little overplayed.
That's
yeah.
Underdone.
No.
Right? Yes, it
no.
is.
You hang around some rat rods and street rod guys. It's a very... Dana, what do you think? Is that common or not?
I'm going to say probably, yeah.
Even in motorcycles, guys are building barbers, and it's always, red rims, black. Yeah, it's kind of like... Yeah, it's nice. It's a period piece. But
it's old school, obviously.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. But it's a little overdone, I think.
Okay.
Good. Whatever you do, I'm sure it'll look great.
Oh, yeah. We'll see when it's done. I mean, everything else is done in the car. It's ready to, get shot and then go back together.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Keep us in the loop on that one. We want to see it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, boys. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Dan. Happy New Year.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
516-572-7440 is the phone number on this New Year's Eve 2015. We're live. We're large. Ray Guarino. I'm Chris Switzer. You can hear this show on Performance Motorsports Network. You can also hear it on iHeartRadio. You're right. So check us out there. When we come back, I have the 5 significant things that have happened automotively in 2015.
And then I'll tell you about sloshing.
All righty. And that's a lot of stuff to happen, so don't go away.
Your car not running right? Let the Motor Mounts help you out at 516-572-7440.
This is a potted plant. You can't see it because this is radio.
You're listening to the Motor Mouth.
WHPC, Garden City, New York, the voice of Nassau Community College.
Join WHPC's Daily News Wrap-Up, weekdays at 4:30 p.m., bringing you a complete report of the day's news home and abroad, as well as sports, weather, and many other informative features.
We're Long Island's FM alternative.
Have a question about your car or someone else's car? Then give the Motor Mouths a call, 516-572-7440.
That's right. We're rock and rolling and sloshing right here at Motor Mouth Radio, 516-572-7440. Ray Guarino behind the shop bench. I'm Chris Switzer. And when we last left Ray, he was sloshing. We're finding out why.
Yeah, the other day, 2 days ago, the same day of that Parkway incident, it was a rainy day, and I had to go make a Christmas return, and I noticed in my Mazda, I thought I heard it once before, and I was right. When I took off from a stop, I heard a sloshing noise, like water moving from one place, and I said, it's got to be in my door, because it was so close to me.
I would think.
But I opened the door and moved it back and forth, didn't hear it. I said, what the, all right, okay. So the other day I heard it again. And I got to the store, and when I looked under the door, and in GM cars, the cars we know, they would typically have American cars of the day had like a couple oval cutouts on the bottom of the door.
Correct.
So it would line up with the sill. Mm-hmm. Not the Japanese.
No.
They have on the bottom face of the door, right under the weather stripping, you see a little black flapper. Yes. There's 3 of them. Right. Spaced throughout the door, and when you pull that up, there's like the plastic piece has 3 little windows. I'm like, what? So I got a knife in there, and I kind of moved it around, and I thought I saw a little water come out. I got home, and I took some compressed air and blew it in, and man, the water just started coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well that's it. And I checked the other doors; they were all clear. So that's a little piece of maintenance that, like I've always talked about leaves in the door jamb and in the fender section.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. Check the water drains on your door, because that's how doors rot out.
And I found out, you know what works really well? Those small little coffee stirrers.
Sure.
Those little straws.
Yeah.
Get them right in there.
Well, I used a can of computer compressed air that had a tube on it. That's what I used, and it worked like a charm.
Let's go to the phones.
Or not.
Tone. 516-572-7440 is the phone number. Yeah.
So since you don't know what Grandma got to get, what was going to get when she got ran over by a reindeer.
Read the question again.
From the song Elmo and Patsy, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. The question is, what was Grandma going to get when she got run over by that reindeer?
Combat boots.
No, that actually a spear might have helped. But notwithstanding that.
Do you want to wait into the phone?
I want to talk about. Oh, you got the phone? Okay.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. Hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey, what's going on, bud? I got a car question.
Who's this?
This is Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Where are you from, Jay?
I'm from Freeport.
A new caller. Excellent.
Yes.
Ending our year correct. I love that. Thank you, Jay.
I'm looking for... I have to do the throttle position sensor on my Jeep, but are they supposed to be changed in pairs, like with the mass airflow sensor, or like... what is that? There's another sensor with it, too. I forgot what it's called, though. I thought everything had to be changed in pairs.
No, not in that. I mean, if you're talking about maybe ball joints or brake rotors, you can make a case for that, but not a throttle position sensor. What year is the Jeep?
It's a 98.
All right, so that's not a fly-by-wire or anything. That's not a motorized one. No, that can be changed by itself. Just don't touch the inside of it where the fine wire is.
Okay, that's what I heard. All right, because I thought, because I did... on my 2000 Jeep, I had to do the cam sensor and the crank sensor together. Like, it told me to do it in pairs.
Well, they do talk to each other. They work in concert to keep the timing straight and let the computer know that the valves are doing what they're supposed to do. So,
okay.
But yeah, no, not with this.
Yeah.
I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
No problem, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. We'll talk soon.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 516-572-7440. Now, if I would have given that advice, I would have told Jay, yes, change all the sensors.
Of course.
Change every one of them. Why? Because they all probably have 250,000 miles on them. Change them.
Those mass airflow sensors are a little expensive these days.
They are. That is true.
So tell us about 5 influential things.
Yes, I have it written right here on this piece of paper.
Do your rip and read, my friend.
Professionally. What rip and read? That's my handwriting, my brother.
You just ripped it.
Oh.
Okay. So now read it.
Well, here it is. There were 5 very significant things automotively that happened in 2015. I'll be real brief. Number 5 was the progress of self-driving cars.
Oh, yeah, the Google cars.
Google cars.
We've talked about
and
that.
Now Ford is in on it, and there's, I think, Mazda 2. There's a whole bunch of Tesla, Mercedes-Benz, all into the driving car thing. The big question that I have is when do we get to ride around in them? When do they go up for sale?
I don't think I want to.
I don't know. It's got to be better than someone who's tailgating and diving off on the southern state.
That's true.
Number 4. Takata airbag recall.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, that is huge. Do you know what they're up to now? 33.8 million.
Wow.
Million recalls, 12 different automotive companies.
And I'll tell you the truth, I can't tell you that I know of anybody who's gotten that recall.
Yeah?
Anybody personally. Doesn't mean they haven't. They just haven't told me about it.
There's not enough trees to send out those recall notices.
I guess.
That's for sure. Number 3. This one was kind of interesting.
They'll send out an old airbag material. They'll stick it in an envelope. They got it recyclable.
Just like this show.
Yeah.
Number 3. The Fed crackdown on Fiat Chrysler.
I knew that was in there.
Yeah, I didn't hear much about this, but it seems that it's pretty big. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they're talking about levying $70 million more dollars.
Yeah.
$70 million fine on the firm for underreporting crash, death, and injury data.
Yeah.
And now that's up. There's 3 civil penalties, and it's totaling $175 million.
But that's not as bad as number 2 or number 1.
Yeah. Well, number 2 is actually a positive. If you want to talk about it. Number 2, auto industry is selling an estimated 17.1 million vehicles this year. Remember in 2009, we couldn't give new cars away.
Yeah.
And now in 2015,
well, it was
2016.
That was after the big crash and recession, so people weren't buying. I can understand that.
Talking about a 12.8 jump in sales this year alone.
12.8% jump? Okay, well, that's big. That's
number 1.
Okay.
Number 1 is the thing that you...
Hit one. Here's
the one thing you don't like talking about. The Volkswagen scandal. Yes, they're talking about it. It's just an amazing thing that there's what they did was Volkswagen installed in all of their diesel vehicles this defeat device, and it was in 482,000 cars, and they have to answer for this. And what makes it worse is it's 11 million cars worldwide.
That grew,
Yeah, so that was the number 1 thing that happened in 2015. There you go.
Well, who was that reported by?
That was reported by Consumer Reports.
Okay, very good. That's a reliable source.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, look at that. News.
516-572-7440 is the phone number. We have about a minute till we take the break.
Well, Takata and Chrysler was shelling out money. The Toys R Us store in New York City has closed as of Wednesday.
Oh, really?
That was the iconic store. It was a destination shop for families across the country willing to buck the crowds. I've been there with my family. Mm-hmm. It only had a 14-year run, but it was significant. This follows the July closing of the FAO Schwartz that was a little further uptown.
Yes.
That's the toy palace that was showcased in the 88 Tom Hanks movie Big. Mm-hmm. I've also been there with the family, and it also was a very impressive store.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I left some money there.
516-572-7440 is the phone number. You know, we're talking about replacing sensors. I want to talk about what I've done to the Jeep that's probably you're not going to like very much.
I said no.
I believe you.
What did that say? That sounded a little different.
It is. That was my friend.
That sounded a little off color.
That is. That's my friend. I keep in the back, but I have other guys too.
That's Ray Quarino. I'm Chris Switzer. This is Motormouth Radio, your 1-hour automotive talk show. You can hear us on Performance Motorsports Network, on iHeartRadio too. You can watch us vonlive.tv/motormouthradio. You can see how many fingers Ray is holding up. Got a lot more coming your way. Is that one too? Got a lot more coming your way, plus your calls. You know how to get a hold of us. We're right here.
We'll be back with answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said the Motormouth thing.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car. You have a short in your horn.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Looking to hear a hip-hop radio show with an edge? Well, tune in to Lyrics to Go, where I, DJ Solero, play some of hip-hop's classic and soon-to-be classic tunes from yesterday and today, while giving you an overall backdrop on the original songs used to make these classic tunes through the art of sampling. So if you're at home with absolutely nothing to do, check out Lyrics to Go Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 a.m. only on 90.3 FM WHPC, the radio voice of Nassau Community College.
Excuse me.
Motormouth Radio.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Motormouth Radio, your 1 hour, one-stop shopping right here. No returns here at Motormouth Radio. 516-572-7440. Guaranteed to make you say, wowee. That's what we do here. Or something like that. Mm-hmm. Ray Guarino behind the shop bench. I'm Chris Switzer, manning the board and handing stuff to something and doing whatever I'm doing. I'm just mumbling.
Very well, I might add.
So, do you want to hear what I did to the Jeep? Or
sure.
You got stuff you have to...
No, well, let's roll with this.
Well,
yeah.
we had an issue that I brought the Jeep over to have the Eagle Eye, Joe D., the man in the clouds, Obi-Don Canoli, the man I affectionately call Uncle Boone.
When I broke Joe's name last night on Lou's Blab channel, I said we have our eye in the sky, our tech advisor, Obi-Don Canoli. They lost it. The guys looked, they were like, oh my God! I said, Lou, where are we, huh? We'll talk about that later, but anyway.
Yeah, definitely want to talk more about that. But yeah, when I had Joe lay his hands on the Jeep to find out what was wrong with it. It was doing a little stumbling. I was getting these mixed diagnoses from my wife, so I really wasn't sure because it did not happen to me.
Correct.
Personally. It happened to her. So what Joe went and diagnosed was basically nothing. It didn't pull any codes.
Right.
The only code that it pulled was a errant radio code.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Do you believe this? It had a radio code.
I do, because I know that radios now, the scan tool that I have of Joe's right now, does get in and will diagnose and do radio stuff.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Joe gives me the slow look like, what did you do? Did you put a cheese sandwich in the CD player? And I'm like, no.
What the hell are you playing?
You know, it's like you got to backtrack and kind of explain yourself. And I'm like, I don't know what she did. Well, I found out she put in a DVD in the CD player by mistake.
Oh, really?
So, and it tripped the code. But anyway.
Wow.
So the thing that I laugh about.
This is a smart radio, smart scanner.
So what I laugh about is the fact that there was no codes. So I'm thinking to myself,
right, I'll make a code.
I'm going to do what my longtime radio colleague always despises that I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw money at it.
Why? There was nothing to
well, here's
fix?
The reason why. Because I'm thinking to myself,
okay,
if it was a stumbling issue, what will hurt me to throw 4 new coils in there?
Oh, my Lord.
So I did.
All right.
I went and bought 4 new coils straight from Chrysler, and I installed them within 15 minutes. And do you know what? The car runs a little better.
People may want to see what Joe looks like when he's diagnosing.
There he is. Look at him. He's the man in the clouds. Look how majestic he looks. That's kind of the look.
Like he's more in the Arctic.
That's kind of the look he gives me whenever I bring.
You want me to fix your car?
No.
There you go.
Let's go to the phones. To the fun. Hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Happy New Year, Motormouth Radio.
Happy New Year. Is this? Who is this?
This is Tom from Massapequa.
I knew that, but I didn't have the guts to say it. How are you, Tom? How you doing?
Great. I hope you guys are great. Listen, I had a quandary the other day.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did you use
the
salve?
I told you guys in a retail store, and I wanted to ask you, you were in East and Belmore, I wanted to ask you for your autograph, but I figured you get bothered all the time. Should I have approached you?
Wait a minute. Say that again.
One of you guys was in Ace in Belmore.
Okay, first of all, how do you know that?
I don't know if you were shoplifting or whatever you were doing. But
okay.
I want to get an autograph, but I figured you get bothered all the time, so I didn't ask.
Well, we'll tell you how you could do that, but you got to tell us how you know that piece of information first.
My son works in that store, and he saw you guys. I don't know if he came up and said hello, but he said he saw one of you guys. I forget who.
Okay, Ray has got his finger up here.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay, because I know.
And in fact, I was walking down that back aisle, and there was a younger fella who was coming down. We kind of we're going to like intersect paths, so I stopped to let him go because he was a store employee, and I let him go by, and we kind of we looked at each other as we went. and just to make sure nobody was knifing anybody in the back, and then we went about our business. But sure.
Yeah, he respects you guys a lot. He's the one who turned me on to you guys over 5 years ago.
Well,
his name's Tom, and I guess he was either busy at the store or didn't want to bother you. But
I think he was on a coffee break.
Yeah,
well, listen, tell him to never hesitate to come up and say hello. That's fine. I'm in that store, that's fairly often I'm in that store, not every week, but tell him never to hesitate, Tom. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, he has a beard and a mustache if you see him again. But anyway, I got a car question for you. I think, did I dial the right number if I have a car question, or is this just about cannolis and Italian bread?
Yeah, pretty much. We like to keep to the holiday spirit, but you could try a car question. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Okay. So one of my sons recently bought a 2003 Grand Marquis because he has a fetish for rear-wheel drive old man cars.
That is a fetish, all right.
All right. And it has less than 40,000 miles on it. It's a Florida car. And
big surprise.
He owns it. I'm sorry?
Big surprise. It's a Florida car, less than 40,000 miles. That's all of them. Unless they're cabs. That's all of them.
So the car looks clean, no rust. What are some of the issues that could come up with a car that hasn't been driven that much? And what are some of the preventative maintenance or checks that you would do if you just bought this car 2 weeks ago?
Arthritis of the ball joints is one. Creaky seat springs is two. All the things that happen when old people don't drive their cars, Tom. Yeah, what do you think, Chris?
I would look at all the soft stuff first. Was the car stored outside or was it garaged? I'm hoping it was garaged.
We don't know that. I don't know that, but go ahead.
Okay, I would look at all the soft stuff. All the hoses, the belts, like Ray says, rubber grommets or the rubber products that are, the rubber components, I should say, that are in the front end. I'd look at those things.
I would do this. I'd get the car up, preferably on a lift, but at least up in the air well enough to roll under it, and do an oil change, a transmission fluid change, and a rear-end fluid change. And while you're under there, look at things like the brake lines, the brake hoses. Yeah. Do what we say. Look around. Look for something shiny, something wet, something loose, something that shouldn't be there. A walker that's stuck in got stuck in a trailing arm,
right, or a bottle of pills with no label on it.
A cane. Yeah, Joe's saying fluids. That's correct. And he could also do a flush and fill on the coolant system. Things that probably haven't been done. And the one that I like to do, and recommend people do, is a brake fluid flush. Yes. Because I'm sure that has never been changed.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad. Okay.
I would start there and then drive the car because it's probably been babied. It may be one of those cars like Chris drives where once you get it up to highway speed and drive it like a normal human, you may find out that it doesn't want to go. It's got like a little atrophy. It's got a little, it's a little bottled up inside. You got a little kaopectate in the tank because the car went 20, 30 miles around town all the time, 25 miles an hour around town, and never really got to highway speed. So there could be some deposits on the valves. But get to that when get to that in time.
Okay, well, mentioning that, what I've learned from listening to your radio program is that if that should be the case, do we have to put a little water in the fuel system to create the Italian tune-up?
No, water in the fuel system does not create an Italian tune-up. Foot on the floor, and I'll tell you what else. I'll give you a perfect representation of the Italian tune-up.
I have a 3-word solution for you.
I love what's that, Joe?
Let Ray drive.
That's right from Joe D. Obidon Cannoli. So, yes, if you get me behind the wheel, I would definitely show you how to blow that sucker out.
Tom, a lot of times what's good for an Italian tune-up like we're talking about is a gradual incline and a good speed.
I think just getting on the highway and punching it and look in the rearview mirror. If you see that big plume of smoke, that's all carbon and stuff that just hasn't been out.
Be careful that you don't look in the rearview mirror and see the state trooper.
Or like the muffler flying. And Joe just wrote in, he said the condition of the tires, too, because they probably, although they may look great because they don't have a lot of miles, and especially if the car was garaged, they may be over their life limit, and you can actually check the date code. There's a tech tip on motormouthradio.com on how to do that, by the way.
Sure is. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, guys. Well, let me just give you a brief comment here. He's already flushed the transmission. He's already changed the oil that I know of. He's already changed the tires, and he put Mustang rims on it. He got a good deal on one of those sites where you get the rims and the tires all balanced and everything at a very reasonable price.
Nice.
Very cool.
Does he drive that car? This is your son's car.
Yes.
So
and I'm going to give you a hint. that car has already, and this is what I'm leading up to. So he's driven it 200 or 300 miles, and guess what happened? He was stuck in the Ace Belmore parking lot because the fuel pump went, and now the car is 2 feet high on my driveway, and he's changing the fuel pump with an OEM fuel pump.
Good. Well, you know what? I'll look for that car in the Ace parking lot.
Okay.
Because it'll be the only one there, that's for sure.
I'll spot it. What color is it, Tom?
It's goldish, champagne-ish, like that.
Okay.
It's got the Mustang rims on it.
I'll find it.
Yes.
Yeah, but he brought it home, and he's changing it right now, actually. He bought the OEM, apparently it was like $50 or $100 more, and he got it from somewhere, and it came today, and he's doing it now.
Very good.
That's awesome. 45-degree weather, and he's under the car working with fuel.
And keep us posted on that, because we're curious to see how that works. And if not, we can sell it to Tony Jockey. That's all right.
Yeah, one of the things he said,
you don't think
his
so?
opinion, he's not totally surprised. He was saying that an old car like that wasn't driven much, it may build up shellac or something in the fuel pump or something.
Well, if the fuel the fuel gets old and it does varnish if it sits long enough. And there's fuel additives you can use that can help break that up. In worst case scenario, the tank has to come down and be flushed and cleaned. But he's taking that pump out; it's in the tank. He should get in there with a non-sparking light and take a look at what the inside of that tank looks like already.
Because what's worse than driving a car too much, Tom, is not driving it enough. And he's realizing this right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? He's on top of it. He's changing the fuel pump. And once that car is, like Ray says, once it's driven and all the bugs are out of it, it's going to give him 250,000 trouble-free miles, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, that's a great
and
deal.
he doesn't mind tinkering it. Actually, he welcomes working on it. I mean, I hate to admit that. I think he relishes this work. But anyway, guys, have a happy New Year, and we really appreciate what you guys do for the automotive community. The
Tom,
good things and the bad things.
Thank you, and keep your expectations low like that, because you'll never be disappointed, especially by us.
Hey, guys, thank you very much. Be well.
All right,
Tom.
Thanks.
Be safe this year. Bye-bye. 516-572-7440 is the phone number. You want to get on microphone, man?
Yeah.
You sure?
He said... So do I. It's a Christmas present. I actually have two of them, and I play them in concert, and I offset them. I drive the family crazy. Mike says the same thing, just in different voices.
Mike Manning is here from the AutoZM. He doesn't want to go on microphone.
And it's a pen. You can write with it. Mike said...
516-572-7440. We love when people drop in. It's just a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like John LaBarca's house party. Right?
Oh, please.
Stop it. Okay.
Do you know that man hired me? He hired me. John LaBarca.
I hope he had the sense to fire you, too.
Yeah, he did. Actually, he got fired first.
Oh.
Yeah, but John LaBarca hired me, and my only credential was the fact that I, as he, came from Brooklyn.
Oh, well,
and that's
they
what he
stick
said,
together, you
that's
know.
That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't care. I don't care to hear your demo. I don't want to hear what you sound like. You're gonna start at a certain time, and I said, why? So I got the demo right here. He goes, no, you came from Brooklyn. I need another Brooklyn guy in the.
That's how you got this job. So the buildings are coming down. We're evacuating. Let's get out. You're fine. Start the 6th.
Exactly.
Nice history you got there.
I'm putting you on Mike.
You got to have your childhood friend Jeff Sardis come on in and talk about his car collection.
Oh yeah, you know what?
He's a car guy.
He is a big car guy, but Jeff won't do it. I've asked him a couple of times. He's Mike shy.
Yeah,
Mike can get him in.
I think he'll come in.
Well, you and he.
Oh yeah, we're tight. We're tight.
I mean, I only know him 45 years, but you and he.
I think he's closer with my son now.
Is Mike working for him now? Is he actually?
Once a week.
Occasionally.
He goes there and his car tender,
good man to work for.
So he leaves the comfort of Celebrity Chase Collision in that luxurious, beautiful office you guys have.
Yes.
Wow.
Inside Ferraris and
yes.
GTs and Rolls Royces and Mustangs and I can't even.
Yes.
He's got a lot.
What we're talking about is an individual that we both know has a very extensive automotive collection, and what Jeff does, he has incredibly high standards with his vehicles, and he has the chops to prove it. But he loves incredibly low mileage vehicles. He doesn't own anything.
Sounds like Glenn the car hunter.
Yeah,
I've never met the man.
And
Jeff, I've never met him. No.
And the funny thing was,
you threatened me with meeting him once, and you said, Chris said, I'm going to make you go meet Jeff.
And it is a threat.
Yeah. But I haven't. No, I have not met him.
It is a threat. But you got to admire the man's vehicle collection is just second to none. And one of my favorite stories, and I think I had mentioned it to you, I was following him going from one collection to another collection, another building.
And you know someone's got a collection.
Yes. And he happened to have his red Ferrari. And I happened to have my black police car. So, of course, we get on the Northern State, and he just rockets, and I can keep up with him barely.
Right.
Barely keep up with him. You knew I was reaching the peak of performance on my car.
You were all the way up to 60 in that thing, huh?
62.
It was starting to cough.
60,
no, Chris.
62.
The car was saying...
So we go around this van. He goes around him first. And now I'm coming around the van, and everybody that's sitting in the van are all yelling at me. They're gesturing me, get him! Get him! Like they thought I was the police officer. Get him! Get him!
It was a van full of NYPD recruits.
That's it.
Heading to the academy.
So I thought to myself, what a great setup right there.
Wow, that video.
No one police officer would have ever thought, given it a second thought. Like I was Jeff's best protection.
Well, until they saw your license plate. Then they would have known that was the tip-off.
516-572-7440 is the phone number. Mike Manning from the AutoZine drop by. Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer. We're taking those calls on the last day of 2015. And, of course, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour Gang, designated drivers. That's right. If you're the one responsible, please pat yourself on the back. You are part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour, an exclusive bunch, if I do say so myself. Got a lot more coming your way right after these good words.
Have a question about your car or someone else's car? Then give the Motormouths a call, 516-572-7440.
Bill Horan presents Secrets of Success, the show designed to help listeners uncover their hidden talents to maximize success. Listen to Secrets of Success Wednesdays at 4 p.m. and Sundays at 7:30 a.m. on 90.3 FM WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Streaming at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Your car not running right? Let the Motormouths help you out at 516-572-7440.
All righty. Can't wait till midnight when we drop the ball. This is Motormouth Radio, your 1 hour automotive talk show right here.
It's a medical thing with him. He's got a problem. I know.
I'm dropping a ball right now.
No.
516-572-7440. So any New Year's resolutions? Do you have anything that you want to get
Stop doing the show. I said that for the last 10 years, and it didn't work. Well, it may be working to some degree.
No New Year's resolutions at all?
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
Why not?
We have to break them. No, I try not to do that. Yeah, I actually. Well, when the summer comes, that kind of ramps up a little. You're outside on the deck in the afternoon. I like to have a couple of cigar. Yeah.
That was it, right? So just relax.
Well, try to relax more. Like Mike, I like my quality time. I like to spend time with my family. I like to spend time at home. And you keep drawing me away to other places to do other stuff. So my resolution, just to say to Chris.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got out of him, see?
You did, yeah.
See, now if I worked with Mike, it'd be a whole other scenario because we'd be like hanging out somewhere quiet, like no noise. Yeah, it'd be like,
Yeah,
lunch in the park.
You want to go on?
Yeah, I do, but it's a fantasy for me, so it's really not,
We like German delis.
German delis,
Want me to leave you guys alone?
Yeah, would you, please? No, that's fine. And that's the thing, Mike, we've known you now for a bunch of years, and the great thing is you get to know people and work with them doing projects and things. You get to know them. You spend time with them. And some guys that and women we've met through the show, we don't really stay in touch with that much because you have a professional relationship and that's it. And other guys like Mike, we're proud to call friend, because you find that, hey, you have things in common. It's when you get after when the persona and all the other crap washes away, you get down to the real nitty gritty of what the person is. And that's how you find out what you're dealing with.
And you're still here talking to me.
I know. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's Did you want to talk about Blab?
Yes,
okay,
let's do that.
We'll come to the end.
Yes, let's do that.
We mentioned our friend Lou Santiago from the show Car Fix on TV. He does this thing called Blab. It's blab.im. It's an internet site. And it's basically an open chat room with video. And I've been sitting in the last couple weeks. It's scheduled for an hour on Wednesday nights from 9 to 10. Well, the last 2 weeks, it went for 2 hours. Last night was 3 hours. Yeah. I'm like,
11 o'clock at night, I just happened to go to Blab.im, I think it was?
Blab.im. Yeah. Well, actually, if you go to Lewis's allendsmag.com, his online magazine page, or one of Lou's Facebook pages, there's a link to the show for that day. Otherwise, you have to kind of find it. So that's the way you should.
The funny thing is, it's 11 o'clock. I'm thinking these guys are long gone. And I light it up, and these knuckleheads are all talking. It's after 11 o'clock. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you all?
It was like Raging Bull. It was like, I felt like I was punchy. It was like, it's getting to be midnight. I'm like, I should have been in bed an hour ago. I'm like, but it's funny. It's just guys sitting and talking about cars. And, Lou has a wealth of knowledge. Everybody brings their own toolbox to the table, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And you talk, but you can see them on video, and people who chat can come into an empty seat, and then you see them as well. So it's kind of a cool format. I want to open a channel for us, because you can get your buddies together and just talk, and if you got a friend out of state, say, hey, join me on Blab. Of course, it's open, so anybody else who's looking at it can come in too. Mm-hmm. So it's not, you're not in any kind of a private
type chat room.
It's open, yeah. Anybody, like I've gotten, you have to have a Twitter account, which I had to open because I didn't have one, and now I get notifications. Like I was on the computer the other night, and I saw Lewis, one of Lou's guys, was on a Blab show. So I hit it, it opened it up, and they were talking about business, promoting business. So I didn't jump in, but it was recognized that I was there. And you can when you click call in, that's when your webcam will light up and your picture will come up on the thing, and then you interact. Whatever. How about interacting with that flashing light?
Let's go to the phones, to the fun. Hi, you're on with the Motormouths.
This is John from Freeport. I'm sorry to be calling so late in the show.
Hey, John, what's going on, brother? How's the ceiling fan?
It's great. The car overheated. My Ford Astro van overheated because I knew the radiator was messed up, and since it was winter, I forgot to put the water in.
What year is that Astro van, John?
It's a Caravan, I think.
Oh, a Caravan, so it's a Chrysler.
Maybe you're... Anyway, it overheated, and now I can't see my speedometer at night.
Why? Because of the fog, or did the light go out?
Is it full of cool?
The radio flickered for a little bit, and it was rainy, too. I wasn't sure if I was flooding it or if I was overheating, but I was stuck in traffic, and the radio went out, and then it came back, but my dashboard lights never came back. So is that a fuse or a light bulb? And also, I don't get heat anymore, so that's the thermostat, or that's the alternator, or what?
Wow, you picked a fine time to call.
Yeah, with like a minute left to the show. You got a plethora of problems. You may want to call us back on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't
think the lights are related to the overheating.
Right.
I think the no heat could be related to the overheating.
Yes.
In a number of ways. Mm-hmm. And you got to do some diagnostics. Verify that the radiator is warm, that you have heat from the heater core to the hoses. You could have a clog. You could have an air lock in the system too.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and call back on Sunday, but it's not a bulb on my dashboard. It's not a fuse. What do you think?
Well, there is a fuse for the dash bulbs. Check that. It's under the dash. The light circuit also goes through the controller, the rheostat control that dims the lights. It goes through that as well.
But it has nothing to do with the heat issue.
No, I would say no.
I would say they're two separate problems.
It just happened when it overheated. They happened simultaneously. It started overheating, and then the radio flickered, and then I didn't get any more dashboard lights. So I'll try and call it on Sunday. I love the show, but
did the cooling fans come on, John?
Cooling fans. The fans work fine, but it only blows cold air, basically. Sometimes
No, not the fan in the car. The cooling fans that are on the radiator that actually cool the coolant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Fan. Okay, because that could be a piece of... Yeah, get back to us on Sunday. We'll get a little deeper into it with you.
Yes.
Great show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, John.
Happy New Year.
Soon. Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year. Bye-bye. Well, that looks like it, Ray.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
That's it. Another hour burned right here, Motormouth Radio, and the significant one because it is the last day of 2015.
All right, so listen, Mike didn't give me an answer. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. You know the song by Elmo and Patsy? What was on our way from Christmas Eve? What was Grandma going to get when she got run over by the reindeer? No, her medication.
Her medication.
Right.
Oh,
something we take quite a lot of on this show. I think you know that. But
for Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer. This is Motormouth Radio. Also for Mike Manning from the AutoZM. This is Motormouth Radio. And for the last time in 2015, let me just stress, don't follow us home. Talk to you Sunday. See ya.
Bye.
Show devoted to the music of Long Island's own Billy Joel. This is Piano Man on 90.3 FM, WHPC, Garden City, New York.